Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles 2, where we discuss everything about manifestation, how to become a higher version of yourself, success, monetary success, obviously, and of course, entrepreneurship, living out your passions, and making the best of your life, of yourself in this incarnation. Hello, my name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles in order to help people manifest their dreams. You can find my information below for coaching if you're interested. The first session is mandatory for us to get together before you embark on this journey with me of 2 to 3 months, which I recommend. Very thorough in my coaching. I start with your history. We cover everything in order for me to understand who's coming into my coaching. Then we definitely rework your beliefs, reprogram those. I help you tweak those and completely just custom make them from scratch, as well as really process a lot of emotions that keep you stuck in one dimension. The cycle continues and you don't seem to get out of the cycle because basically the emotions that have not been parted with really just keep you to that timeline like glue. And so what I help people in my coaching do is part with the old timeline and embark on a new one. Shifting your energy will achieve that without exceptions. And so in my coaching, it works best if you're open to my suggestions, you're humble, and definitely honest, and that you let me do my job. Just follow my guidance and you will succeed. I don't just coach with entrepreneurship or just self-development, as well as SPs, which is my original channel, Magic and Miracles. The link is below. So if you have any questions, please email me. I'm really inspired to record this, and I have been kind of thinking about how I'm going to explain certain things. And I certainly have spoken about some parts of this on my original channel, as I mentioned, in hopes of explaining how to see this reality and the way that I experience it and the way that I see it. And so hopefully this will inspire you, and or maybe you can relate or think of things differently than perhaps you're seeing them now. So I've had a very kind of like different life, let's just say. I have had several very different experiences early on in childhood that convinced me that this 3D situation that we have around us is really just not even the beginning of the story. That the majority of creation is definitely happening in the invisible. And, again, through certain things that have happened to me, I had a peek at the invisible that was very much visible to me. And I'm sure you hear this a lot as you grow older. The veil, it just, you don't see it anymore. You can feel it, but you don't see it anymore. I do have experiences in my dream state, and actually till this day, every night. And I wanted to discuss this in order to inspire you, hopefully, to see this differently. So this is my experience, throughout my adult life. And I think I started paying attention more and more to this roughly 15 years ago, when I was really struggling in a relationship that was really toxic, very abusive. And I think, like a lot of people, looking for help when it's really dire, when I obviously should have done it a long time ago. But essentially, I started paying attention to my dreams, especially when I started meditating, and they became more clear. So clear, like this reality, but clearer, if you can imagine. And so my experience is this, that I have several lives that I'm very conscious of, that I'm living out right now. Some are terrestrial, some are not. Okay, I'll say it like this. And some are not even, you know, I don't necessarily have a body, like a human body in some lives. And I'm sure through Dolores Cannon's work, a lot of people became aware that they have, past lives, if you want to call them that. It's not really past, they're all simultaneously happening right now. But I feel like it's important to understand that these lives are just theater productions. It really isn't that serious. I mean, that you're learning a lot, how to manifest, how to elevate your mind, how to expand your mind, how to be ballsy, courageous, daring, believe in your godliness. All of that is absolutely true. The thing is, though, the experience itself is real in that it makes you feel an emotion. It programs you, right? In terrestrial terms, from early childhood, like, by the time you're 7, it's scary to say your subconscious mind has been programmed. Like heavy duty stuff that you will later be discussing either in a therapist chair or at the very least in my coaching. I don't know why I said at the very least. Although I'm not a therapist, I have been told that, I'm more thorough than any therapist that they have seen, certainly. And I pride myself in being thorough because I think it's important to really understand what keeps you so glued, like I mentioned in the beginning, to this idea of you being this certain way. I think the stuckness of it really gives you away that you don't understand that you're multidimensional. And this is not a criticism of any kind. This is just goes to say, like, you're too obsessed with this problem right now. Whatever the problem is, you're considering it bigger than yourself, whether that's money, SP, whatever, and it usually goes hand in hand. I don't know why I said or. It's a reflection of not having faith in your abilities and the help of the universe. Okay. Now I'm veering off quite a bit, but again, referring to my experience, all throughout these parallel lives, you have assistance. I know you hear this all the time, and people, call them angels, guardian angels, archangels, assistants, higher self, whatever, norms. I'm kidding. Although, hey, I've seen some different things kind of situation when I was a child. But essentially, in all seriousness, you do have a team. You do have a spiritual team. Listen, if I have one, you have one too. And I don't agree with some people saying, well, maybe that's their experience, but my experience is that I have a squad of angels. I have not only just angels, but I have other beings that I rendezvous with in sleep. And the dreams are so repetitive that, at this point, after so many years, there has to be something to them, right? So there is I don't believe in coincidences of any kind, and I certainly, it's not a coincidence. I've had so many really vivid dreams, and to call them vivid is an understatement, but essentially, you do have this squad that works specifically for you, and you have, in certain moments of your life, let's just say particularly difficult ones, particularly challenging ones, you have the ability to hire, quote unquote, an expert, a being who's an expert, who can teach you energetically. Now, you can always, it kind of like resembles a little tiny bit the same idea, but very different, I would say. Napoleon Hill's idea of the council, how he invited anybody famous, living or dead, and they would advise the consciousness of Abraham Lincoln, etc., etc. I'm not talking about that. I'm literally talking about top notch, like whatever is above that, a being that's actually, I don't know, a million years old, if you want to measure it in terrestrial terms, and really is just the most intelligent being there is in the universe to handle that specific problem of yours. That this is the ability that you have to put together your squad, reassign it, maybe take some people in quotations, take some members out, put some new ones in, and as you go, the challenges they differ, etc., etc. So you have this ability to stretch, but rest assured, my point is this: on the other side, in the invisible, okay, they're all around you all the time, but you have so much fucking assistance. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking scary, and it is ridiculous at the same time, but it's obvious, that being a human, part of being a human is to come here and forget all about it. And if you meditate and you work on yourself, eventually you remember. I never really forgot. I just think I chose to try to fit in. And I realized that not fitting in is probably the best idea for me ever. I really tried. I tried very, very hard, to be liked and to be accepted and to be approved. And then I just kind of really realized that this energy I'm working with is so stale and so blech that I'd rather go back to being slightly weird, if that's the word, but being authentic and true to myself and doing exactly what I wanted with my life. And then, the resonance of authenticity, it has a whole other situation that will present you with outcomes that are unparalleled. So I see these guys every night, especially if I have a challenge, if I have a dilemma, whatever, a question. I want some information. There's so many times, oh my God, countless times that they showed me exactly the answer that I needed, and it came true, but 100 zillion% true. I don't need to ask people anymore what their intentions are. I'll just see it in my dreams. Or, if I can't really get to it, usually I'm a very good judge of character, and I can pretty much read people's mind at a distance, because it doesn't take much when, you've been an empath all your life, first of all. But also, it's just energetic. It's in the energy. You can talk to somebody for 1 minute and you can sense energetically so many things about them you can't even explain, how you know it, but you just do. Because we're all really capable of these gifts if you are open to them and, you're benevolent, obviously, and of course. So the squad is there. Now, the other thing that I really wanted, and I want to say this really carefully because this goes hand in hand with the analogy or the kind of the way of thinking that I have by now, for sure, cemented, that this is a theater production. This is a movie. This is a scenario, okay? This is a storybook, whatever you will. Yes, with myriads of parallel realities, you name it, any variation exists in this kind of theme that you're living out here. And the city that you live in, okay, although perceived to be real, isn't actually real at all. It's simply an idea of a city, and you have your own interpretation of that city. And I'm acutely aware every single time I go back into my body in the morning, or whenever I even just wake up, maybe let's just say in the middle of the night, I know that I'm going through a portal in order to land into this theater. And I'm very acutely aware as I'm going through this portal to come back into my body that I'm going back into, again, a theater production. A put together fake construct, fake in quotations, that doesn't actually exist. It's an idea. Everybody, let's just say I live in New York, right? You guys know this. So everybody who lives in quotations in New York lives in New York in their consciousness. So that gives you a little bit of a kind of a situation to chew on, that everything just exists in consciousness. So if you are to create something, you must live there in consciousness first. This is where it's all just coming from. If you really just kind of boiled it down, there's only consciousness. There is no city, there is no sky, there is, your body doesn't really exist in that sense. There's just ideas. And if you focus on ideas long enough, they become material, in quotations. Now, this might be, kind of like blowing your mind a little bit, maybe making you uncomfortable. I don't know, maybe not. But this is how I've been thinking for a long, long time now. That, I'm just here to do a job. This over here, this Earth School, is not so serious, yet I'm learning a lot. And some people call it detachment in the manifestation community. I'm not so sure that it's detachment. I think it's a different perspective on to which degree do you want to suffer? To which degree do you want to deny yourself of experiences if you understand everything I just laid out, that you have assistance, that you understand that this is theater, that you understand that you live in a ocean of your own ideas, whether you like them or not, different story. You're there, you're presenting yourself with these challenges simply to learn. And if you trust that, and if you understand that the universe has never been against you, you yourself are creating this theater every single time. There have been, especially during one period I can recall, when I'm on the other side, when you're on the other side, understand that you're in the spirit realm, so-called spirit realm. It's just not physical, is what it is. There was a period of time when, and they still do from time to time, my spiritual squad would ask me, you don't have to go back anymore. Like, it was kind of like maybe I worked off my spiritual assignment or what. I don't know what I specifically came to do as a spiritual being this time around, although I have a vague idea. But basically they told me, you don't have to go back, meaning like you can resign from this role, you've graduated, kind of situation. And I always insist on going back, meaning like to wake up in my bed in New York City, be alive in this role. Okay, it isn't so much that you're dying on this side, it's just you're disconnecting. This will be no longer when you quote unquote choose not to come back. It'll just be an idea, a fantasy, a frequency on which all of these ideas that you came and set it up before you were even born, this is the theater you live in. It is not real in that sense. It's just a soup of ideas. And so therefore it becomes a lot easier. You are living in exactly a soup of ideas that you cannot see right now. So just like the ones that are presented to you here, maybe some of them you like and maybe some of them you don't like. But it's the ones that you do not like, understand they're just an idea. It's just an idea. It's for you to minimize it or to maximize it or to make it disappear, kind of situation. I didn't mean to rhyme just then. But in the invisible, all of the ideas that are coming forth are existing. And so paying attention, therefore, again, to the 3D is a spectacularly colossal waste of time. When you can purely, squarely assign yourself this destination of never paying attention to the 3D again, because 99% of the creation is happening in the invisible. So how the fuck are you going to pay attention to the 0.0001% that's presenting to you something different simply because of the choices you made in the past? Makes no sense whatsoever. You don't like the furniture you're looking at? Fucking throw it out. Get new furniture. Now, the furniture could be a SP. I'm just kidding. Or the furniture could be a different job. Or the furniture could be whatever. But the thing is, let's not make it so personal. Let's not make it an attack on you. Let's make it all about you. Not in a narcissistic sense, but like everything is here to help you. Everything is here to guide you. Everything is here because of you. This is all for you. This is your show. Again, I want to underline this, not in a narcissistic sense, like fuck everybody else and I'm just going to fuck everybody over and not be held accountable. I'm always stressing in as many audio/videos of mine that you absolutely have to be benevolent. In order to maximize your self-realization, in order to ascend, in order to become to go to the next level, whatever that might be for you, you absolutely have to be benevolent. Anything else just shows your intellect is not ready for higher power. It's just what it is. The universe is not going to give somebody who's malicious power. It would destroy itself in that sense. So the universe knows exactly what it's doing. It's a well-oiled machine. And so you don't have to worry about, anything really. Just create with ideas, create with your consciousness. Know that it's all going to obey you. And for the part that you are being human and freaking out for just a little bit, just remind yourself, I'm living in my own fairy tale. If I don't like something in the fairy tale, there's some scary parts in fairy tales also. All right, I'm in some kind of an uncomfortable zone right now. This part of fairy tale, I'm not quite pleased with. All right, but it's just a fairy tale is all. It's just a story, it's just a book, it's just a theater, it's just a movie. And then it becomes a lot more entertaining, exciting, something to look forward to. Ooh, you know what? I feel like creating this now. Or I don't feel like creating this anymore. Because in every moment, you do have a choice to create something completely different, to change your mind in that sense, to go to a higher quality reality within that theme. This theme that seems to you like it's the only reality you're living out right now, right here, as you're awake on Earth in 2025, right? Because I don't know about you, but I myself, I'm living in different time periods, my other lives that I'm aware of. This life right here seems like the only life that you're paying attention to when you're here, but it isn't the only one. It seems like it is, but it's not the only game in town. Forget about different lives. This reality right here that you are living out and listening to me, this is not reality, the only game in town. Right here, today, right now, this very day, you can rearrange completely timelines, jump parallel realities, just by understanding this is just a production. What's the script? What's the next step? What's the next intention? What's the next desire? What's the next feeling? What am I playing with next? I don't want to make it serious. It is not serious. All that it is I am becoming a higher quality creator who understands his or her power, and most importantly, understands that, again, I'm creating across the universe, across timelines, across different lives, across different time periods. There's a lot going on. I have a lot more power than I give myself credit for. I am a godlike being. I am completely fucking unlimited. Are you kidding me? This little motherfucking problem, splat. It's gonna be like a little, like, teeny tiny, I don't know, fruit fly or something like that. Like in 3 seconds, this will be over because I'm actually the only consciousness that is going to create everything that I want. Whenever I have had some situations, it's so funny. The universe, again, is so on your side. I would see literally what I'm telling you right now, like a little ant out of nowhere would appear. Like I'm sitting at my desk and all of a sudden some little ant is crawling on my computer, or, wherever I am kind of thinking about it. Again, I would see some kind of a little teeny tiny insect, and I would start laughing because the universe is reminding me how in the grand scheme of things, this problem is absolutely not significant. What's significant is that you understand your role in this universe. What's significant is that you understand the power of your consciousness and the power of your energy, and that you give yourself back the reins and understand anything you want. You should come to such a conclusion that, it's kind of like, I have to be very careful what I write down. I have to be very careful what I'm thinking. I have to be careful what I'm saying when I'm really passionate, when I'm really intentional, because those things come true like clockwork. I no longer question it. And I get, if you're anything like me, again, you get confirmations in dream state. Like some people literally, I was dating this guy one time and I said to him, I know exactly where you were last night. You don't have to lie to me. He wasn't entirely truthful. And he accused me of stalking him. I'm like, I'm not stalking you, you idiot. I see everything that I need to see in my dream state. People can't lie to you anymore because the veil in that sense is lifted. And, you can read their mind and all of that stuff. Is it not fair? It's totally fair. You can read energy anyway, and what are you doing lying to begin with, right? There are no secrets in the universe whatsoever. Absolutely none. Energy cannot lie, therefore there are no secrets in the universe. So I hope that I inspired you to look at your external world slightly differently, playfully, as an artist does. With their canvases or whatever, what have you, whatever the clay or the paper and pencil. You're just here to have fun, to play, and of course to learn, but not to gravitate towards suffering, not to really condemn yourself, and never to, certainly never to deem yourself insignificant. Because you're in charge of so much, you would hardly even believe it. Unless you're open to it, you probably maybe are having these experiences in your dream state as well. You just don't remember them. I'll leave you with this thought. Everything right now in your life, the way that it is just an idea. Was once just an idea. Whether you like it or not is, that's for you to kind of observe. But was once an idea, and here it is in front of you. So change the idea. Just change the idea. Breathe in new energy, new consciousness, new understanding in a playful way, and know that everything is there to benefit you, and have fun creating. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.